Why is nation state Bitcoin adoption important for you?
Well, I think it has to do with a number of things. So, the first and foremost is I believe that if countries adopt a Bitcoin standard and understand Bitcoin, you'll see more favorable legislation being passed, better treatment of their citizens. Because I think Bitcoin does change, it will change countries, it changes individuals, and individuals make up governments. Like everyone's a person there. And if they understand the ethos of Bitcoin, why property rights, why the ability to build wealth is important, and why things like a bearer asset are important, that'll inform a lot of other policies that governments push forward. And I think this is the best defense we have to a very Orwellian future. So we can build technologies, we can build, more peer-to-peer systems, we can decentralize things, but ultimately it comes down to the people in charge and what their worldview is. And I think if we can get them to embrace Bitcoin, then we'll end up with a better world. The other part is just having countries implement a Bitcoin strategy early on. I see that as a net positive for the citizens of those countries because if the government adopts it, it's sort of a blessing and the people will adopt it too. There's many countries around the world where you cannot spend Bitcoin technically. Like merchants won't accept it because it's not allowed. Indonesia is one, and there are many other countries around the world. And without a blessing, then the people will never really fully get into Bitcoin. So if you can start from the top down and orange pill the government or the president or prime minister, maybe they'll say something and people will start to embrace Bitcoin or even learn about it because people do look for permission. And not everyone is like a hardcore Bitcoin maximalist with laser eyes. They want somebody to tell them Bitcoin is okay. So I think that is a big reason. But also, if countries get into Bitcoin earlier on, I believe that's a way to make the transition to a hyper Bitcoinized world smoother. If you look at history and demonetization events when countries pull notes out of circulation, India is a good example. There's a massive amount of chaos because there's uncertainty in the money. And if you think of Bitcoin, hyper Bitcoinization as a fast event, which I believe is going to be the case, you'll end up with fiat currencies collapsing in a spectacular fashion around the world. And people will be either moving to stable coins like USDT or moving to Bitcoin in a very short amount of time. And that's going to be a very chaotic transition. So, what you want is to have that parallel system of Bitcoin in place and the knowledge to move to Bitcoin. Because in a chaotic transition, there will be scammers and just massive amounts of people losing money and buying the wrong thing. They might buy a fake Bitcoin, like Bitcoin Cash or something like that, because someone told them this is Bitcoin and they think that is Bitcoin, or just an outright scam, which Bitcoin Cash was kind of, is kind of. So, yeah, I think that there's a number of reasons, but those are the top reasons why we do what we do and we focus on nation state adoption.
Yeah, it's like a plan B for the nation state. It's too late when you need it, so better to get it in place.
Pretty much. And then if you look at nation state accumulation, like a country, a sovereign nation buying Bitcoin, there's a long lead time. Even if they want to do it, like how do they do it? They need legislation for how they're going to custody the Bitcoin. It's not just like the president has it in a wallet somewhere and if he leaves it, Bitcoin's gone. They need some more robust system that can survive a transition in government, ideally, and that is sovereign, ideally. So not just keeping it with a custodian, say in the US, but in a series of vaults in some robust, secure system in the country itself. And then how do they buy Bitcoin? Like large amounts of Bitcoin. They can't just buy locally on exchanges. They need some way to buy globally to tap into the global pool of Bitcoin liquidity. So there's so many things that need to be done outside of just orange pilling. And this is kind of what our approach is. We tell them, if you want to buy Bitcoin, you're going to have to do these things first. So let's talk about how you get there.